Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Initiative Order, and welcome back finally to the world of Symbaroum. Thank you all so much for your patience and understanding with us as we were all dealing with life shit, traveling, COVID, pandemic, all the boring, horrible adult stuff that comes with being an adult. But we're all back here, ready to go. So thank you all so much for your patience. Hope you're all doing well and staying healthy. So. Let's go ahead and try to get back into the swing of things. My name's Nate. I am your GM for this journey. And as usual, I'm joined by an absolutely phenomenal cast of players here. In a moment, we'll go around and introduce all of them. But first, some thank yous and shout outs to our wonderful friends and sponsors of the channel here. First and foremost, as always, thank you so much to the Initiative Order creative team, Danny, April, Jay, and Bree. Love you all so much. Thank you for helping run this channel with us here. And of course, thank you to our friends over at Free League, who are the creators of this wonderful system, who've been kind enough to give us all the high-res art and permission to use all of the art from the games that they create over there to make our streams look really nice and pretty. So the overlays and the intro video that you'll see here in just a moment, all that artwork came directly from the book. So thank you so much, Free League, for allowing us to use your beautiful, beautiful artwork. Next up, let's go over to our wonderful sponsors of the channel, starting off with Session Zero Clothing. Ryan designed some beautiful TTRPG-inspired streetwear. He's been supporting us basically since day one here at the Initiative Order, so thank you so much. Session Zero, if you go to the website and use code ORDER at checkout, you can get 15% off your purchase through them. Next up, we have our wonderful Got DM Ray, creator of Roaming Player Gear. He's created this awesome Dice Tower Dice Vault combo. If you use code Carnaby20 at purchase, you can get 20% off of that Dice Tower system. And of course, we have our friends over at Mithril Armory, another creator of some beautiful, they got the really cool puzzle D20s, as well as the sketch dice, which you can basically draw and create your own dice set with that. If you use code INITIATIVE, you can get 10% off your purchase through them. And speaking of dice, we also have the wonderful folks over at Norse Foundry, Master Craftsmen. They create some beautiful gemstone metal dice as well as other TTRPG accessories. If you use code TIO15 at checkout, you can get 15% off your purchase through them. And last but certainly not least, we have the wonderful Taryn, aka the Eldridge Queen herself, the wonderful game master for Far Realms, and the creator of Umbral Oculus Dice. If you use code INITIATIVE through her store, you can get 10% off of a full dice set through Umbral Oculus Dice. They're seriously so beautiful. Check them out. With that, I also want to shout out that we are ambassadors for Jaspers Game Day this year. Jaspers Game Day bringing awareness and prevention tips to bringing awareness and prevention to suicide. It was created by a wonderful young woman, still in high school, I believe. She might be graduating here soon, but she's done a ton of work through tabletop gaming. Jaspers Game Day, check them out, support them if you can. It's a wonderful, wonderful cause. And continuing on with the wonderful causes, God, there's so much to say today. I'm so sorry, y'all. We are teaming up with Roll versus Evil, this really cool brand new campaign being kicked off. This is kind of the first one that they're working with, and we're doing a donation drive. There's a link down in the chat. All donations for this first drive are going to support the people of Ukraine who are suffering during this absolutely horrendous invasion that they are dealing with over there. So Roll versus Evil, check it out down in the chat. Please donate what you can if you can. Again, all proceeds helping the people of Ukraine. With that, let's go ahead and introduce our wonderful cast of players for today. Let's go ahead and start off with Kelsey, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey on all social media. You can find me at Tombs and Tomes. I love making new friends, and if you want to talk about tabletop role-playing games or books, I am the person to talk to.
Perfect. Let's throw it over to Coral next.
Hello, friends. My name's Coral Reefer. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/queerventuretime or on Twitter at QVenturetime, because Queer Venture Time was what? Too many characters. Yeah, just like that. She's chatty, she's chaotic, but she hopes she leaves you with good vibes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's throw it over to Keith next, please.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. Like Nate said, if you're able, please donate to the cause today. I play Kovaan, the not cult, coven member with kin. Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry about that. You can find me on IG at I'm Not Kevin Bacon, on Twitter at All That D&D, and on Twitch Aloy808. Yeah, happy Sunday, everybody. Thanks for coming.
And last but certainly not least, let's go over to Leroy, please.
Hey everyone, I am Leroy. I am currently in Ireland and I am trying to make this hotspot on my phone work so that I can be here for Symbaroum because I've missed it. I love it so much. Yeah, you can find me on all social media at Royalty No Y. And if you wanted to see all the things that I'm doing and all the sites that I'm taking pictures of, you can check that out on Instagram in my stories.
Wonderful, wonderful. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into this beautiful world of Symbaroum. And welcome back. So, as always, I know it's been a hot minute, but what do we remember from our last session?
Nothing.
On the last session of Symbaroum, after we had basically burned down a whole section of the town in front of the mission house of Sarvola, we were able to sort of move past that in one of the least graceful ways possible. And we were able to enter the mission house. However, we found out that it was evacuated, totally empty. There was a door at the rear of the building that was open. And we found a note saying that Sarvola was now going out of town to do business elsewhere. Of course, that seemed a little bit sus. Didn't really believe that. So we had Muffin come out for the very first time, which is Kinlegelana's familiar, to start tracking Sarvola. Now, we weren't super successful that day and decided we needed a long rest over at the Rose Inn. So we decided to travel to get a good night's rest. On the way, Nrobso filled Kinlegelana in with a lot of details about his time away and made Kinlegelana realize that she needs to get more powerful as a magic user. And later that night, she did speak to Kovaan about potentially seeking out the Ordo Magica in the coming days. Also on the way, Kovaan and Agithe had a very touching moment together as friends. And then we all managed to get a good night's sleep, except for one thing. Agithe, on her pillow, found a note telling her to be at the stables at 2 p.m. the next day. She recognized it as being from her prior syndicate, and also realized she would tell none of us what she intended to do. So anyway, the next morning, beautiful, uneventful, and we decided to go on a trip to the mission house so that we could continue tracking Sarvola's scent. On the way, Nrobso and Kovaan speak, and we learned that Nrobso's beef with the chief back home is that he doesn't think that goblins should be working for humans, and he's hoping to work with Kranko to do something about the Templars, who, as it turns out, are not as good as we think they are, though Leohan might be innocent. Then at the mission house, we find a notice on the door, again, saying that Father Sarvola is away on business. So we decide to start tracking him. And on the way, Agithe veers off and tells no one what she is doing. That leads us to the end of Muffin's tracking, where we are in a courtyard with 4 homes. So, thinking this would be totally fine and nothing wrong would happen, Kinlegelana changes into a small Ambrian child, and Nrobso pretends to scare her, so they run out in the courtyard together, and Keen is crying for her mother. Now, of course, an old man with a broom comes out swinging. Nothing goes the way we want it to. We try to get into his home to try and see what we can find, and we find nothing. But something that does happen productively from last session is that Agithe learns that her syndicate is in search of a changeling named Odaka, which might have something to do with the changeling that is impersonating Balmello. And that is where we're starting.
Excellent, excellent. And
I'm so sorry. You've missed a very, very crucial part of these notes. And that is that canonically there is indoor plumbing in this universe, as we discovered as we ran into the house. They do have toilets and running water, which...
most important, obviously.
Yes. Completely changes my outlook.
Wonderful. And with that, we will go ahead and start over in the stables where Aggie, you are currently sitting next to Lainey, another member of the syndicate that you are also part of. You had mentioned the name Balmello to her. And at the mention of that name, you notice her lips begin to curl up into a smile as she looks towards you. Yes, it would seem that Odaka is the one that's taken on this form. As we speak, my partner Grim is following Balmello through the streets.
My party and I have taken a, as you could say, special interest in Mr. Balmello. I must say it will probably please them to know that he is our primary objective.
You find it interesting at all that a changeling, one of the woods, one who has taken on the identity of a witch hunter, if you will, why would a changeling want to murder those who draw their power from the place where he was created? Have you learned anything more of Balmello in your time with being around him?
Not much more than that he's a complete asshole and I don't like him and I'm very excited to kill him. However, as to the reasonings behind a changeling, and also we must consider How much study did this Odaka put in on Balmello beforehand? Is the person we know acting as Balmello would have acted? Is this Odaka person a completely different personality and just playing a part? I've no idea. But as far as motive, I can understand the taking on the role of one who wants to, of one who wants you dead could honestly be the perfect disguise. It's the absolute last place that one would think to look. And I don't know the internal politics of changelings, but if there's some form of power struggle that Odaka is part of, then it's possible that they could be using the power that Balmello wields for their own personal gain. But
I suppose anything's possible. But only time will tell if we continue our investigation, I suppose.
yes.
And what of this sinkhole? Have you learned anything about that?
Only that there is corruption down below. It's not a pleasant place. We found a body. Templars may have something to do with it, but as to exactly what, we have not entirely uncovered that. There seems to be one Templar which we trust, and that's about it.
But you've gone down.
Hmm?
You went down into the hole itself, though.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Personally. Not very deep, just, I don't know if it's still there, but, there was another, magic user, not from the Ordo Magica, but a natural magic user who, came into town. I'm sure you saw the whole thing. I'm sure you saw my party and I right in the middle of it, being very conspicuous. But yes, we went down with the magic user was coming in and investigating. He's since returned to report back, but he grew vines down below. If they're still there, you would probably be able to investigate yourself, but I would not recommend.
See, well, luckily not being entirely alive anymore, I don't think that corruption's as much of a threat to me as it would be to someone such as yourself.
That is true. You have a point.
But for the time being, my main objective remains tracking down Odaka.
Well, they seem to have been tracked. Now, what is the next course of action?
Well, once Grim reports back, he's been spending some time looking for movement patterns. See if there's any place. I mean, everyone must have a place to rest. If we can identify where that is for Odaka, perhaps we can coordinate an opportune time to take him down. She reaches into a pouch and pulls out this small stone, very similar to the one that you found down in the hole. And she offers it out to you.
What is this?
It's a simple way of communication. A sending stone. I can use it to let you know if and when we find Odaka.
I have to admit, last time I used one of these, I did not have a very pleasant experience.
Did you know who was on the other side?
No.
That's why. With these stones, as long as you understand and know exactly who it is you're speaking to on the other side, you'll be fine. But if you don't, well, things get a bit uglier from there.
Well, if only I'd known that a week or so ago. Okay. And Aggie goes ahead and, gingerly takes the stone.
The stone is only linked to me. And just me. So as long as you picture me in your mind when communicating, you'll be fine.
And as for now, what would you like for me to do?
Don't travel far, at least not from the hold. Continue doing what it is you're doing. If you're looking into the corruption of the whole, continue doing so. Keep a low profile. And once I have more information about Odaka, I promised you'll be the first person I reach out to. We won't act without consulting you first, since it seems you and your friends also have an interest here.
Yes. That sounds like a good beginnings of a plan. Not a full plan yet, though.
Well, you're always a master at improv, Miss Aggie.
Aggie's going to, gingerly stand up. If I remember correctly, was today the bad day, or was it the day before? Because
today was the bad day.
Today was the bad day. Okay, so yeah. There we go. It's coming back.
For our viewers, really quick. Basically, with how the system works, Aggie has this ability where the first roll that she makes during the day can either be very positive or very negative, depending on what she rolls. Unfortunately, she rolled a critical failure at the start of today, which means she will now have a penalty on other rolls moving forward.
Yeah, it's because I am so old that it's like, yeah, it's literally the elderly trait.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways, Symbarum's a great system, y'all. If you haven't dived into it, it's so much fun. So yeah, but she's just real rough today. So she gets up real slow, real ginger. And she doesn't even completely turn around. She just like half turns her head back to Lainey, and she just says, though I do appreciate the compliment, as I'm sure, and I hope you know, my skills and abilities are not what they used to be. And my focus is have changed.
Be so hard on yourself, Miss Aggie. Your body might not be able to do what it used to, but we all know that your mind has sharpened over the years. You offer a much wider perspective than well, most of us younger people can see. And with that, Lainey begins pulling her hood up over her face, and she kind of takes this mask covering her jawline, which, as you're kind of looking at her being an undead, you see that there's definitely holes kind of along her jawline, just various muscle strings just kind of holding everything together. She kind of pulls the mask over.
Quick question. I am I'm kind of looking at this, and with the undeadness, is this wouldn't happen to be like divinity rules with healing and undead, perchance, would it? Like divinity original sin? No? Is that great? So at least would a dose of poison help her?
Give me a cunning check, if you will.
Okay. Because if so, I just want to send her off with something nice.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was originally thinking medicinal herbs, but then I was like, will that do anything? A cunning check. That is a 15 minus 1, and I rolled a 14. So that meets, it beats.
It does meet, yes. So you would know that would not be helpful in this situation.
Great. Love it. Then, yep, just give her a good nod and I'll see you around.
Mm-hmm.
I tried. Folks.
No, you're fine.
I attempted.
And you see her kind of walk out of the stables into the main street. She kind of stands there for a moment. She kind of turns and looks back towards you as this group of probably 5 or 6 individuals kind of begins to walk down the same street. You see her just very smoothly disappear into that small crowd. It looks like she's now walking behind them into the streets.
Then yeah, I will go ahead and try and find my party.
Okay, excellent. So you've got your friends who last you saw they were chasing a familiar through the streets, and you also know that
great should be totally easy to find.
You also know that Laerke had headed off towards the camp to go check on the cart.
Stunning. The cart's in good hands.
So actions are yours for whatever you would like to do, any directions you would like to attempt to go.
Oh, criminy. Well, I guess, I don't know, if we're following a familiar, I forget, is the familiar visible to other people or only visible to kin?
Oh, it's completely visible. It's almost like it's fairly corporeal.
And is it like a cat or is it like an imp?
I believe your familiar is a fox, is it not?
Yes, my familiar is a fox.
Oh my god, I love that. I can't believe I forgot that. Okay, great. I guess I would start walking around looking for a fox running through the streets.
Okay.
Can I make another cunning check to just see if people are like, the fuck? Because that's not common, right?
You don't know if it's common for foxes to be patrolling the streets of Thistlehold from time to time.
Well, we've been here for a few weeks. Have I seen any foxes patrolling the streets beforehand?
No. You've seen other animals, no foxes specifically. As you're kind of walking out in the streets, give me a vigilance check here, if you would.
Oh Lord, this isn't as... No, that's a no. That's no.
Okay. Stepping out, you see various alleyways and shops and buildings. You see the streets are kind of packed with individuals of all ages, mostly Ambrian, walking through these areas. You try to listen in to see if anybody's mentioned a fox or the strange individuals who have been kind of running around investigating things. From where you're currently at, you're not seeing any traces of footsteps. You're not hearing any type of conversations. You're just kind of out in the streets, various directions to go. None of them standing out to be the clear direction for you currently.
Mr. Cross. Okay. And the stables were right outside of the inn, right? All right. Well, we're not going to go to the inn. We remember hearing them talk about the Ordo Magica, so I guess we're just gonna start hoppling on over there.
Making your way over to the Ordo Magica. Okay, no worries, no worries. You begin.
It's okay. Aggie is walking very, very slow today.
For sure, no worries.
There's plenty of time for a fox to possibly run past and her to go, oh, hey, there they are. Great.
All right. You begin hobbling your way over towards the Ordo Magica. With that, let's go ahead and jump over to the courtyard where the other three currently are. So you've got the one building that you've just exited that had the older Ambrian gentleman there. You see a small staircase kind of built into the ground heading towards a cellar, what looks like, and that is situated next to another 3-story building that you were all previously looking at. The 3-story building itself, you notice that all the windows currently either have the curtains pulled or have been boarded up entirely. And on this 3-story building, you see another doorway with a very large, heavy padlock affixed to it on the outside. Aside from that, you've got the older Ambrians building, you have the alleyway that you had entered in from, and you also have the back of another building that looks like it's probably just the back of a shop.
Just for clarification, last time we were told that one of those buildings was owned by the church previously, or it was visited by the church. Which one was that?
That would be the 3-story building that's currently boarded up.
Well, maybe we should go look for Mom in that one.
Ladies, I don't think the old man is here anymore. You don't have to say Mom. It's just a
Nrobso.
Yeah.
We don't know that no one is listening to us.
Oh, this is true. Then I suppose,
And I just start yelling really loud.
we can check that other building. This one here. Are we going down the stairs?
We can try.
Let's find your mother down these stairs here.
I'm going to just kind of shake my head and just kind of hold it together. And after you.
And Kovaan, as you're kind of shaking your head, you notice that there's a window that's kind of got the curtains pulled open. You just see that old man just kind of staring down the courtyard at you three before he just kind of shakes his head and shuts the curtains very slowly. Heading down towards the cellar doors. Okay. So the staircase itself goes down probably about 10 feet or so before you're met with just a large double wooden door. Same thing with this one. There's a metal bar through it with a large padlock affixed to it.
I have my axe if you want me to smash this padlock open. Otherwise, we could try to, I don't know, unlock it.
You know how to do that?
Not very good, but I can make an attempt. Do you have any little things that people use?
Kovaan, can you make some branch things happen?
Yeah, I don't have anything else. So I'm gonna use the quick growth, I think it is. The quick growth skill. And kind of do a little ritual on the ground and try to get some kind of woody climbing vines that I can kind of fashion for Nrobso to try and pick it, I guess, because I don't have really anything else other than a dagger.
First thing, no worries. Give me a resolute check when you have a second there.
Let me check my pack to see what's in it.
11 of 16.
11, 16. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, you begin kind of casting this ritual into the ground. What do your movements look like as you're kind of making these branches come up out of the ground here?
So, kind of anytime I'm going to do some kind of plant thing, it's kind of like when Satsuki and Totoro are trying to make the plants grow. Just kind of... That'd be the motion that I would try to use to try to get my quick growth going.
Okay, perfect. So as your spell kind of begins taking place and you see your energy kind of seeping down into the ground, soaking down into the soil, you begin to see just the tips of some little branches that appear to kind of begin poking up out of the earth. As you kind of raise upward, the branches come with it. And easy enough, you're able to quick grow just a few little sturdier looking wooden branches here that you can easily snap out of the ground.
Is there any way that Keen can assist by trying to find a weak point in the lock using her pendulum?
Sure, give me a resolute check as well if you would. Now, Kovaan, do you have any, I can't remember if you have any abilities that let you ignore corruption? I know Keen does. I don't know if you took any.
Is that witchcraft?
Yes.
Yeah, I have witchcraft at adept.
Okay, perfect. So then with casting that spell, you don't take any temporary corruption off of that. So we're good there.
You said resolute?
Yes, please.
I got a 15 and my resolute is a 15. So
okay, it meets a beat, so you're good there. So approaching, as you're kind of approaching this with your pendulum, this energy kind of begins to kind of pour out of the pendulum. What color would the energy come out of your pendulum look like?
So it starts to look like white wisps of smoke, but then black starts to trail and it turns into white and black swirls sort of interlocking with each other.
Perfect. And as they're kind of swirling and interlocking with one another, you see them go into the keyhole of this padlock, and you can feel it almost emanating through your pendulum as it's kind of going through the locking mechanism itself, trying to find any type of weak points that it can. And as the energy is kind of going through it, you find a couple. You feel like probably the first and third tumblers are a little bit weaker compared to the other ones.
Golly gee. Numbers 1 and 3 are like really great for playing games, you know? It's really great.
Not sure about math, but let me try this way.
And I jam the twigs in, and I'm trying to unlock this padlock.
Okay. Let's go ahead and give me a quick check here for this one.
Right.
And I'll give you a -2 bonus to this since Keen kind of gave you the weak points on this lock here.
-2 on what I land on the roll?
No, so whatever your quick score is, you would subtract 2 from that. So what's your quick score?
My quick is 15. I mean, I rolled the 7.
You rolled a 7. Okay, perfect. So what is your quick
but wouldn't
score,
we be adding the 2?
That would make it easier.
Yes, a +2. You're right. Yes, apologies. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I got a 7. So with that +2, that's 17 for 7.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, easy enough. You take these makeshift little twigs here, kind of plunging them into the lock. You hear the tumblers kind of begin to click You get the first one undone, moving to the second one. The second one sticks a little bit more, but you're able to kind of maneuver past it onto the third one. Easy enough. You hear that click once again. You slowly begin to kind of twist the branches in, and the padlock releases.
So you would think they would have made this a lot harder. But I did it. I unlocked the padlock.
And as I take it off, I wanna slowly open the door in case there's any like type of noise that it makes as I'm opening it.
Okay, give me a discreet check here as you're trying to do this slowly and quietly here.
Okay, hold on. I'm at Shadow Spawn ability because this is also sneaking.
Okay, perfect.
Set up discreet. It doesn't matter. That is a 17 over 6.
17 over 6. So your discreet is 6 or your discreet 17? Sorry.
My discreet is with the +1 is 6.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to open this door, and it's if it's making noise, I still slowly do it.
And Keen and
loudest
as you're kind of
door
standing up
ever.
above, you just hear this loud creaking door that just. He stops for a moment, waits, tries pulling it a little bit slower, and the creaking just gets lower, but still just kind of echoes up the staircase.
I'm gonna
Ian
kind of
slips-
cringe and just kind of.
Keen slips into her like actual voice. Nrobso, was it necessary to be quite that loud?
Maybe the sound was more confusing. Maybe the long, quiet, but obnoxious sound isn't something they're worried about.
Well, we'd better start moving quickly then. Come on. Can Keen check the hallway to see if any, or whatever is beyond the door, can she check to see if she sees, or thinks she sees anything?
Give me a vigilance check if you would.
Great. That is a 3 out
I'm gonna
of 7. 3 out of
Okay.
7.
Nrobso? You good? Okay.
No, just in case. Yeah.
All right. Door pulled all the way open. A little bit of sunlight now illuminating down the staircase into this area. Keen, you can see the stairs continue on for probably about another 10 or so feet before it looks like it levels out. And looking down, you can kind of make out the silhouettes of what looks to be some wine bottles that are racked up against the back wall. You see a little bit of candlelight beginning to glow, and the candlelight, as it's kind of casting the shadow along the wall itself, you see what appears to be the silhouette of some kind of individual. The silhouette itself looks like it's someone who's wearing a rather large cloak of some kind, but you don't see the person themselves, just their shadow currently on the wall.
So you're aware there's definitely somebody down there.
Can we hear anything else, GM?
Give me a vigilance check if you would.
Yeah, no. 11 out of 9.
Okay, you don't hear anything, no. And Keen, even with your successful vigilance check from before, it doesn't seem like this individual is making a lot of noise. You hear like some slight shuffling around, but you don't hear him speaking to anybody.
Should I go down alone as a child and see what's going on and then you follow, or do you all want to go together?
Where's your familiar?
Oh,
Muffin like pokes her head around like my ankle when she hears that. You want to send down Muffin?
She's definitely more stealthier than I am.
Nrobso?
Go down
Is
and
that amenable?
I could perhaps be a goblin helper.
Very
You
well.
could change into perhaps maybe a guard and maybe send me down. Oh, maybe you're escorting me down to whoever's down there. You could say, I caught this goblin skulking about.
Well, I love the idea. I don't know who's down there. Do you think that they're accepting goblin prisoners this time? If it's
Well, whoever's
Sarvola, I
down
doubt it.
there, he could be the one in charge.
I don't disagree. Perhaps we let Muffin case it first. And then we go with
Muffin
that
has
plan.
all the fun.
I'm sorry, Nrobso. I promise that we'll do whatever goblin game you want later. And Muffin is going... Muffin is going to slowly start going down the stairs.
Okay, give me a discreet check from Muffin here.
Oh.
To help Nrobso's eagle, I'm gonna put my hand around him. You did fine work to get the door open, my friend. Don't forget that.
Thanks, Kovaan.
So it was a natural 20.
Okay, perfect. Also, for our viewers who are just joining us for Symbaroum, are bad in this game. So natural 20 is essentially a critical failure here for this poor little fox. So Muffin begins trying to sneak its way down the stairs. And you see as it's kind of moving down, it misses one of the steps and just goes tumbling down the stairs, rolling and just kind of letting out little fox yelps. It's like, ow, ow, ow. You hear the shuffling stop. And you see the shadow on the wall kind of turn. And hear, the fuck is this? Aggie, back over on the street. We'll go over to you. Making your way towards the Ordo Magica. It takes you probably about 20 or so minutes, and you're kind of tired and full-on elderly state at this point. Making your way through Thistlehold, you know exactly where the Ordo Magica is at. It's kind of a large tower that definitely stands out amongst the rest of the buildings in this area. You kind of approach, it's probably about a 4-story, just large wooden tower. Out front, you see a couple individuals dressed in these really beautiful, like light blue flowing robes as they're kind of standing outside. One of them's holding the book and it looks like they're just kind of having a conversation amongst themselves. As you approach, you see that there's a large open doorway. It looks like a large double door that's currently pushed inward and currently open. What would you like to do?
Quick question before I ask them in there. We've already asked either the people at the temple or the people at the Ordo Magica about removing corruption. Which one? And they said go to the other one. I just can't remember who we asked.
So nobody's gone to the Ordo Magica yet. And you had spoken to the elder at the Sun Temple, and she had mentioned that there probably wasn't anybody in Thistlehold who could help, but potentially in the capital city itself, you might be able to find somebody.
Cool. Never mind.
But to her knowledge, there was nobody in the hold who could potentially help with that.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and you said there's guys standing outside?
There's a couple individuals standing outside just having a conversation amongst themselves. You also have the large double doorway that's currently pushed open into the tower. From what you can see, it doesn't look like there's anybody, necessarily on guard out here.
What are they talking about?
Give me a vigilance check if you'd like to try to listen in on their conversation.
That is a 2.
A 2. As you kind of approach and trying to listen in, you hear them speaking mainly about the sinkhole that's recently opened up, and they're kind of talking. You hear, well, what do you think the master's going to do about it? Do you think that he'll actually leave the tower for once and go take a look? I mean, seems kind of important, don't you think? And the other responds, no, he's so busy these days. I highly doubt even something like this will drag him out of the tower. Besides, I heard rumors that the mayor has some outsiders investigating. Maybe if they turn up with something interesting, who knows? Aside from that, you're not really picking up anything else.
Now that's still some good that's some good context. Yeah, Aggie does not. You said they don't look like they're guards; they're just chatting.
Correct.
She just goes on by.
Okay, as you begin walking by them, one of them kind of just looks towards you and just gives a quick nod and just goes back to having a conversation. So
Aggie
entering
will nod
in,
back.
Perfect. So entering in to this first little area of the tower, you kind of just see like this front little half circle, almost looks like a reception desk, if you will. Behind it, you see 2 staircases on either side. There's like a small little waiting area with some nicer looking furniture, a couple chairs, kind of situated around what almost looks like this really nice fire pit. The flames itself, where you normally see like you're seeing your traditional orangish type flames, these ones are blue. In here, they kind of go from like a deep blue to a lighter blue up to a white. And as you kind of enter in, you just see a young Ambrian woman standing behind the counter. She currently has her head down, and it looks like she's currently scrawling on a piece of parchment.
Aggie is very tired and has been walking for a long time, especially for today. So straight up, first thing she's going to do is she's going to go and take a seat in one of these incredibly comfy looking chairs. And she's going to take a quick break.
All right. You kind of go and sit down at one of the chairs. You sit there for probably a good 5-10 minutes, maybe, before the young woman at the desk finally kind of looks up and goes, "Oh, hello. So sorry. I hope you haven't been waiting long. Do you have an appointment?"
Aggie's just gonna wave at her and say, "Oh, no, don't worry. I needed a little bit of a breather anyways. It's quite a walk. However, I do not have an appointment, but I was hoping to get some information and perhaps arrange a better time for some of my companions to return."
See. Well, may I ask if there's any information you're after, just so I can give the master a heads up, if you will?
Yes. Well, as you may have heard, as I'm sure you know, there's a giant sinkhole in the middle of town now, and as you may have heard, there's there's a party of people investigating. I'm part of that party, as well as my comrades, who I'm hoping to get a chance to speak with the headmaster.
You're part of the investigation.
Yes.
I'll be back. And you see her as she kind of begins heading upstairs.
Can I vigilance check that? Because I just want to know if I ratted myself out to a rat.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a vigilance check here.
Or if this is a genuine concern, like, oh shit, no, this is okay. The vigilance, that's a 5 out of 10 today.
5 out of 10. Okay, perfect. So as you're kind of looking at her and reading her body language, looking at her, trying to read her facial expressions, you didn't get any malicious intent off of her. More so just like a bit of a vibe that this is something important that maybe the master's been looking into himself. Seems okay from what you can tell.
Stunning.
Back
So,
over
yeah.
in the...
I continue to sit.
Okay, perfect. Jumping back over to the cellar, you see the fox has tumbled down into the cellar, and you just heard that voice, and you hear, huh, looks like I found myself a nice little dinner.
Yeah,
And
Keen is going to run down screeching as a young Ambrian child. Muffin! And like run into the room.
All right. As you begin running down towards the room, you hear the sound of a sword being unsheathed. As he kind of begins swinging it downward, you appear at the bottom of the stairs, and just as the sword is about to cut into Muffin, it stops. He just, how the hell did a child get down here?
What in the world is your problem, sir? What are you doing with that? This is my pet muffin. That's a crime. Who are you?
Also looks at Kovaan, takes off one axe off of his back and goes,
Well, no time like the present.
and he jumps down the stairs in full like superhero landing mode. And he's just at the entrance of the door, axe cocked back, looking at this guy.
And he's holding his sword there, and just as he's about to reply, you hear Nrobso come charging in, landing down next to you. And he looks towards the goblin, looks towards you, and looks towards Muffin. How did you get in here? And who are you?
I'm sorry, sir. The real question is, who are you? You are about to cut down my pet. That is a crime. I was a child. So really, you should be asking, how did I get down here? You don't have any of this stuff childproof. That's also a crime, sir.
And he kind of
And I am the Muffin Man.
That is right. Have you ever heard of Mr. Muffin Man, sir? He is very important in social circles, and we are here because you are not in FDA compliance.
And he just looks at you and just says, I don't have time for this shit. And he kind of takes his hand and shoves you, Keen, back out towards the stairs, raising his sword, and he takes a cut down towards you, Nrobso.
I throw my axe as he's shoving King.
Okay. I'll allow that. Go ahead and give me an attack roll here. As he's shoving Keen down, raising his sword up, you chuck your axe at him. Go ahead and give me that roll there.
And that's on accurate.
Correct. That'll be your accurate.
That is 4 for 14, baby.
4 for 14. Excellent. Your axe goes flipping through the air, hitting him square in the chest. Go ahead and roll the damage here on your axe for me.
Wow,
That
so we
is,
just went from breaking and entering to attempted murder. Awesome.
That is an 8.
8 points. Okay, excellent. So your axe kind of begins digging into his armor. He kind of stands taken aback for a moment. He just kind of grabs it and pulls it out of his chest as he raises his sword up, and he's going to go ahead and swing it down towards you.
However, I'm going to use my ability twin attack. So that's one axe, and then I'm spinning around to grab my other one with my right hand, aiming at like his side. Because I'm in my brain, he's like this, getting hit, and he's still coming out and slash. So I'm taking my other axe in that open area, right into his ribs.
Okay, give me another attack roll.
That is, oh no. It's a 20.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's a 20.
20. Okay. Seeing your opportunity, you try to swing up into his rib cage. Unfortunately, you kind of trip over Muffin, who's still lying on the ground. As you kind of step on his tail, he kind of yelps a little bit, and you kind of go tumbling out of the way as his sword comes swinging down towards you. Go ahead and give me... oh gosh, how does combat work in this again? Go ahead for a defense check if you would.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And whenever this gets resolved, Keen would like to do something.
Okay.
That is 5 for 16. You
5 for
miss.
16. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Easy enough. So he swings down and you're able to quickly just kind of maneuver out of the way. Keen, I'll go ahead and give you your action here.
Since we're not officially an initiative, is there any way that I can conjure my storm arrows and like pin his clothing with him in it to the wall, like across the way with the storm arrows?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and allow that. So go ahead and give me a resolute check here.
Oh, please. Oh, please be kind. Oh, thank God. Okay. That is a 3 out of 15.
3 out of 15. Okay, perfect. So yeah, your storm arrows once again kind of appearing around you, and you quickly begin launching them towards him. Go ahead now and give me one more resolute check here to see if you can send him flying through the air to pin him down.
2 out of 15.
2 out of 15. Yeah, easy
Nice.
enough. He kind of swings down towards Nrobso. Nrobso dodging out of the way. He kind of goes to turn around to look towards you, and these storm arrows go flying towards him, pinning him from his thick cloak right into the wall.
And my voice is going to, like, I still have the same appearance, but my voice is going to change. All right. Guess we have to do this the hard way. Let's chat.
And he just looks confused as hell as what just happened. He's just kind of struggling to pull his cloak out and just, who are you?
Who are you is the question. Nrobso, make sure he doesn't get out of there.
I get my axe back.
Is
All right.
my axe sticking in him, or is it just?
Oh no, he pulled it out and threw it on the ground. So it's currently just kind of laying
got it.
down in the dust.
Then in which case, I pick up my axe and I just keep it close to him, across his neck.
All right, perfect. Kovaan, anything from you as you heard all this commotion going on downstairs here?
Yeah, so as soon as I saw Nrobso reach back for the axe, I would have went, fuck, and started making my way down the stairs. And I probably caught the last part of it when Keen pinned him up on the wall. Mm-hmm. And I would have been ready to do the entangling vines, but it looks like they've got things under control. And I just kind of look at them and, well, subtlety is our specialty now, isn't it? Let's find out who this is.
It's at this point that I would just like to let it be known that I'm not the only troublemaker in this party, okay?
He tried to kill Muffin, Aggie. He tried to kill Muffin.
Muffin broke and entered into this man's home.
Muffin is a fox, Agithe.
No, the door was open. Nrobso opened
Y'all
it.
are trying to gaslight this poor dude.
All right, sir. We just want to talk. Who are you?
Is there anything in the surrounding area? Can I do a vigilant check real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me that check when you have a second.
9 for 12.
9 for 12. Looking about this area, this appears to just be a very large wine cellar. So you see various racks with multiple bottles kind of shoved in them currently. There's a small desk with a candle currently burning on it. And there's a couple pieces of parchment as well, kind of scattered across the desk. Aside from that, we're not really seeing much else down in here.
Is he wearing any rings?
Looking at him, you don't see any rings on his fingers as his hands are currently gloved up. But what you do notice is a large key hanging off his belt.
Finders, keepers. Now yank the key off. If we had this key, getting in here would have been a lot easier, but as it turns out, your padlock was crap.
And I put the key in my pocket.
Nrobso, let's speak with him first. We actually don't know who this is.
No.
Who are you, sir?
Give me a persuasion check if you would, Keen.
9 out of 11.
9 out of 11. Name's Delani.
Delani, you say? What do you do, Delani, for work? What brings you to this place?
What brings me to my home?
I thought this building was abandoned.
Well, seems like you've got the wrong information.
Interesting. Well, if you won't swipe at us, I'd be happy to let you down, and we would be happy to not wave our axe at his neck, right?
Quick little shave for persuasion a little bit more. This building was owned by the church, was it not?
And you see his lips kind of curl up into a smile as you say that. And he takes his sword and tries to swing it towards you, Keen. You've got him pinned down by his cloak, but his arm is still free. As he's going to go ahead and try to take a swing towards you. So go ahead and give me a defense roll if you would.
Okay. Oh, God.
And do I have enough time to react, Jim?
Oh, yes, actually, because you were also down there. Yeah, if you wanted to hold something, I'll let you go ahead and react with whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I would have reacted with the entangling vines just to pin him.
Okay,
Oh, good.
sure.
Because I rolled a 17, so.
Perfect. So yeah, the second he began raising his sword up, Kovaan unleashing your vines as they kind of begin tangling up and taking his wrist and kind of pinning it up towards the wall too.
I think I'm supposed to roll.
Resolute check if you would for that one.
Okay. Hey, 11 out of 16.
Perfect.
So I'm just gonna.
And he's just struggling.
Well, that's enough from you.
And I'm trying to grip the sword and just rip it out of his hand.
Okay, give me a strength check here. I'll give you a +3 to this since he's completely pinned down.
11 for 19 with the +3.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, easy enough. You take his sword, pulling it out of his hand. He's now no longer has any weapons on him that you can see.
So what are you doing here?
No, wait, leggies. Quick pat down.
And I'm giving him the full business. I'm checking for hidden blades, hidden weapons, hidden escape powders, anything.
Okay, give me another vigilance check if you would.
7 for 12.
7 for 12. Okay. Yeah, going through, patting him down. You're not feeling any other type of blades or anything. But as you're kind of getting up around his cloak and his neck, you feel a chain. And as you kind of pull it out, you see that same medallion that the Black Cloaks were wearing.
Leggies, Leggies, this is important things.
Oh, I see. So you're a Black Cloak then?
No response.
Interesting. So what are you doing here then, if Delaney is your real name?
He's just staring at you. Then you can just see the anger building up in his eyes.
Can I make a check to see if there's any arcane magic, like a shape shifter or like a changeling would have coming off of him?
Yeah, give me a resolute check if you would.
Okay, that is an 8 out of 15.
Okay. Kind of looking about at him, trying to feel if there's any arcane presence coming off of him. Not feeling anything. He appears to just be full Ambrian.
So you don't intend to tell us anything, huh?
Goblin games.
I'm sorry?
Allow me to play a goblin game. It's a game that we play to see who can stand the pain more.
How about we check the parchment on the desk first?
And I'm going to tighten the vines.
I'm going to check out the parchment on the desk really quick before we do something else.
Okay. As you go over and take a look, they're all blank pieces.
I want to ask him a question, but is there a way if I could kind of read if he's lying or not?
Yeah.
Or is that too much to ask?
Yeah, you can give me
So,
a cunning check if you'd like.
I'm going to look at him and you don't see eye to eye with Sarvola, and he turned up missing today. You wouldn't have anything to do with that, would you? And cunning, you said?
Cunning check, yeah.
All right, come on, dice. Yeah, no, 18 out of 13. Damn it.
18 out of 13. As you kind of tighten the vine and you see him wince in pain, and he just kind of looks towards you. I'm glad that shithole burned to the ground.
That's it. And I put my axes back on my back. I grab my dagger. I'm taking a finger to add to the collection. And
Nrobso. Nrobso.
Yes.
Nrobso, do you remember that thing I told you about what happens when someone lights a flame? No. Remember about casting shadows and being careful about how we allow ourselves to do so? Do you really want a finger of a man who clearly is not intelligent enough to tell us any more than what we've heard?
And I pull out my chain. I already have this finger, remember?
I understand, but Nrobso, do we want to be the kind of people who collect Black Cloak fingers?
Can I just break it?
Or we think about this first. Do you think so, Nrobso?
Well, if I can't cut it off, I think breaking it is the least of the things we can do to him.
What is the purpose of breaking his finger?
To cause him pain for his insolent subordination.
And he just looks towards you. I really wouldn't do that if I were you.
No one asked you. Anyway, Nrobso, I am afraid that sometimes we act quickly and rashly before we've gotten an entire picture. Perhaps someone can stand guard over him, knock him out, we can tie him up, and we can investigate this place.
Can I at least cut his hair? What about his hair?
His hair?
Let's make a fool out of him.
Nrobso, she's like so speechless. She's just like so confused at this point of what's happening. Do you want a lock of his hair to keep? I suppose. Yes. We can do, Kovaan, can't we do many things as witches with somebody's hair? Interesting.
We could.
We could.
Or-
Isn't that another reason that he shouldn't struggle?
Or
So
later ideas.
have you ever been hunted by shadow spawn because a piece of your hair was used in a ritual?
I've already become part shadow spawn.
Oh, I can tell that's not true. No, not the thing I'm thinking of. A thing that lies in the depths. All I'm saying is I would think carefully before too much struggle. Nrobso, could we please refrain from actually causing physical harm at this time?
You need me. I'll be right here.
Can you knock him out?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think, Kovaan, that we should knock him out at this time?
We could just gag him. He's already bound. He's not going anywhere.
Not to worry.
And I pull a chair very noisily over. I take off my boot. I put it in my hand, the sock in my hand. And I step on the chair.
And I look him right in the eyes.
And I cock my hand and punch him right in the forehead to knock him out.
Give me an attack roll.
That is 19 over 14.
Wow, you're a lot more sturdy than I imagined.
Do it again.
Because he's tied up and bound right now, you're easily able not to punch him until he passes out.
Okay. Nrobso, I would like to have a long conversation later about some of these things that we have experienced today.
Nrobso saved Muffin.
You did, and I am so appreciative, but I would still like to speak about some of these things maybe tonight over a nice cup of tea.
Oh my god, we are so chaotic.
Well, first, let's solve the mystery of whom we are looking for.
Absolutely. First, let's make sure that we get him tied up and gagged very, very well. I think we can empty one of these. Are there wine barrels or are they just bottles?
Just bottles.
Excellent. So the wine barrel idea is out. Okay. So is there anything we can roll him up in? Like a tapestry?
From what you're currently seeing, doesn't look like it down here.
Well, I guess we take him with us. Maybe leave him down here for a while.
Leggy, I don't think we should walk around the city with a guard. I mean, yes, I will agree. It looks really bad right now. Should anyone walk in on us, it looks really bad. But I think it'd be even worse to carry an unconscious body.
I was more thinking we would investigate the house.
Oh, and drag him along with us.
So, Jim,
We can...
can I get the vines to be more bush-like? And basically, it just looks like a house plant if we put them in the corner.
Give me another resolute check here.
Trying to be non-violent. 9 out of 16.
9 out of 16. So you take your vines, kind of wrapping them around it, and they kind of begin to bud. And yeah, it almost looks like a human-shaped plant man just standing.
I literally, the visual I got in my brain was like in like a Pixar film or something where it's just like all the vines snake up and everything. And then we're just sitting there talking and then pan over and it's just.
So I'm gonna look at Keen. How about a topiary? Will that do? I don't feel like dragging this man everywhere.
That will do just fine, but I think we should collect a small blood sample. He said that he was supposedly turning into some type of abomination or shadow spawn, and I think it's worth saying the shadow spawn story was totally made up to scare him, so
Yeah,
let's take a blood sample.
Let's take out my dagger again. All right.
No.
I'm in the bushes. Hold on. And I slice his hand just a little bit to get some blood out. I grab my tissue and napkin, dab it. Here you go.
Nrobso.
Nah.
Give me a resolute check if you would there, buddy.
Nrobso, what have we said about gloves? Gloves and vials in very safe containers.
No, I'm wearing gloves.
No, you're not. Where are the gloves?
You gave me gloves and I put them on.
Oh, is he wearing gloves?
They were floppy gloves, but I was okay with wearing them.
I'm sorry, Nrobso. You must understand the psychological struggle of today has really been getting the best of me.
That is 7 for 8 on that resolute.
Just barely. So, taking your tissue as the blood begins to kind of seep out of this individual's hand, you just notice that it is black and thick and just has this nasty consistency to it. As you kind of begin dabbing it up into the tissue, you see it almost begin to try to like latch onto the gloves that you're wearing. But luckily, you're able to kind of shake it off, and your willpower is strong enough to kind of push it back so it's just in the tissue.
I take like a vial out of my bag to shove it in.
All right.
Well, that's horrifying. So we should look up shadow spawns, I believe, because that was something I made up on the spur of the moment. And I'm afraid it might be a real thing. Just the second. Well, we're going to have to do something about this later. Maybe Aggie will find us eventually.
It may be Thin Muffin to find Aggie.
I'm afraid somebody might try and eat Muffin if I let Muffin go unwatched. But Muffin, do you think that you would be okay skirting out of other people's sights to find Aggie? Am I also Muffin's voice?
You're also Muffin's voice. You control everything about Muffin.
Muffin is going to like try and smell around to find something of Aggie's on my bag, and Muffin is going to try and go find Aggie while we explore the rest of the house. Okay.
Muffin sniffing around. Give me a vigilance check for Muffin here.
Okay. Would I just use my own stats for Muffins? So it is 2 out of 7.
2 out of 7. Okay, easy enough. Muffin begins sniffing around. It seems like they picked something up, and Muffin takes off up the stairs, leaving the three of you down in the cellar with this topiary, this knocked out individual now just pinned to this wall. We've got Aggie over at the Ordo Magica, waiting to see what happens there. And with that, we'll go ahead and jump to a quick break. So thank you all so much for sticking with us through this so far. If you've been able to donate, thank you so much. Please continue to check out Roll vs. Evil. Link down in the chat there. Again, all funds go towards helping the people of Ukraine. Please donate what you can, if you can. And we'll see you all back here in about 10 minutes or so. Thanks a lot, everybody. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around. Again, just want to point out today we are raising funds for Roll versus Evil, raising funds to help out the people of Ukraine during all the bullshit happening with that terrible invasion over there. So please continue to donate what you can. If you can, please help spread the word. There's information and a link down in the chat below, so please check that out. With that, let's go ahead and jump back over here. So Aggie, as you're kind of sitting down in the bottom of the Ordo Magica here, just relaxing and chilling for a minute, the young woman comes back down the stairs. Miss, I'm sorry, I don't think I caught your name.
Oh, Agithe.
Agithe, it's lovely to meet you. The masters are quite busy right now. But they do express interest in wanting to meet with you. You said you had more, right? More of you?
Yes. We've a party of 5. Though one of us tends to stay with my shop.
I see. Well, perhaps if you come back a little bit later on with the rest of your party, we can arrange a proper meeting.
Of course, yes. I'm sorry to spring this on you so suddenly.
No, not at all. I mean, what's happening in town is both interesting and terrifying.
I would have to agree. There's lots to discover, but there's also much risk to many people. So we're just trying to get things done as quickly as possible.
Well, we certainly appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course.
May I get you anything?
A ride back to the inn?
I suppose I can arrange that.
Oh, thank you. It's been a bit rough today. You'll understand when you're older.
And she heads out into the street and kind of begins. You see her, she's kind of standing in the doorway, kind of like looking and trying to hail down a cart or something that's passing by. Anything else you would like to do while you're here?
No, I'm just gonna be really nice to her. Always try and make friends with the receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
Will get you really far in life. And yeah, absolutely. She's just being very, very thankful. And then, yeah, when she gets in the cart, she's going to request that we Aggie needs to re-up on some of her supplies. So she's going to request that we stop by an alchemist or apothecary on the way back.
Perfect. Easy enough. Just a few blocks down, there's an apothecary shop right on the right-hand side as you kind of heading down the street. The driver of the cart kind of pulls it over to the side. You're able to easily get off. Are you looking for anything specific or just your basic needs for your supplies here?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been a long time since I've gone out and collected my own ingredients, which is what I'm used to doing. But we've been stuck in this city for quite a while, so I haven't really done much foraging, so I'm running low. And so I need to re-up on a bunch of basic shit. But specifically, I am all out of my medicinal herbs for healing. And I'm down to only a few doses of poison, which I can understand if they don't necessarily like, here's poison, but if they do, that's great. I'll buy some. Otherwise, I'll buy the ingredients to make my own.
Okay, for sure. So as you kind of enter into the shop, you definitely see all the basic herbs that you're looking for. You see a couple like mixing bowls as well, some various vials, some empty, some filled with liquids that you don't quite recognize. And there's just a simple Ambria man standing behind the counter as he kind of greets you as you come in. And sure enough, easy enough, he's able to kind of get you your basic medicinal herbs. Now, are you going to ask about poison, or are you just kind of keeping an eye out for those?
I'm definitely keeping an eye out for that. However, I am going to strike up a conversation with them.
Perfect.
You said there's stuff in vials that I don't recognize?
Yeah, there's a couple vials that have some different colored liquids in them.
Aggie's been around the block, and if she doesn't recognize something, she's going to ask because she wants to know more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, she's gonna. I've been around for quite some time now, and I've been doing this work for a bit, and I don't think I recognize that. Would you mind letting me know what it is?
Oh yes, these up here. I'm not gonna lie, they're just for decoration. It's colored water. It helps draw in the crowd, you know. I mean, such as yourself, you see something you don't recognize, it's something different. But
look, I will say it's clever, and as a shopkeeper, you have to employ every trick of the trade, right?
Of course.
If it works, it works.
And he kind of begins finishing gathering up the rest of your herbs and everything, and just kind of places them up on the counter. Was there anything else you were after today?
Let's see. This is good. Aggie lowers her voice and she just says, as an older lady myself, I do like to carry a little bit of extra protection, if you know what I mean. Do you have any idea where I might be able to find something along those lines? Just something to give my pack a little more punch, because I don't. There's not much there.
Give me a persuasion roll, if you would.
Oh God. Hey, that is a 5 out of 9 for the day.
Perfect. He kind of looks towards you and well, I suppose I could take a look in the back. Excuse me a moment.
I'm gonna just pipe up and say, I don't mean to be presumptuous or overstep, but might I join you? I'm always interested to see other people's collections.
So, and he kind of walks over to part of the counter, flipping it up. He steps out, heading over towards the front of his shop, and he kind of closes the curtains, and you hear an audible click as he locks the front door. All right, follow me.
Great.
All right, scooting through kind of this black curtain that's kind of hanging down behind. You enter into this tiny little storeroom area. And on here, you're seeing various shelves loaded with various herbs. You see a couple different powders. You see a couple different jars that have herbs with various coloring to them. Some of them like a deep blood red, some of them blue, some of them yellow. You even see a couple of flowers in one jar, but it almost looks like at the top of the stem, almost looks like the flower shaped like a skull. And coming off of these flowers, you also have more of these beautiful, just deep red leaves budding off of it. So,
and I recognize the majority of it?
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of it looks like just basic poisoner herbs, just ranging from different potencies. Some of the yellow herbs you would know to be a bit more acidic. Some of the powders you recognize to be a bit more explosive. He just kind of looks towards you and
LOL, not me immediately opening the equipment section in the player's guide.
So if you take your time perusing through that, we'll go ahead and jump over to the other group here. Muffin has taken off into the streets. You have this topiary gentleman pinned to the wall. Nrobso, you're now in possession of a key that was on his belt. Actions are yours.
All right, well, I believe we should try and investigate the rest of this. I don't even know what to call it anymore if anything is inhabiting it. Do you think that the Black Cloaks are using it to store these changing members of their kind? Do you think Sarvola is here?
I wouldn't put it past them. That was my first inkling when Sarvola wasn't there.
Very well.
Real general question, Jim. That key that Nrobso took, does it look like it would be a house key, or does it look like it would open something totally different, like a trunk, a cell, anything like that?
It looks like it looks like it would probably fit the pattern on the padlock from outside.
Okay.
On the house itself.
Got it.
And I have a question too. Is there any way that I can shift my form to look like him?
To look like the individual that you just...
Yes, incapacitated.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a resolute check if you would.
Okay. Let's see. 13 out of 15.
13 out of 15. Easy enough, as Nrobso and Kovaan are standing there looking at you as you're shifting from this child to this individual. What does it look like for us?
So for a moment, they actually see my aura, which is white with the black frayed pieces. And it almost looks like black and white birds start almost circling around me for a split second, and then my body changes.
Ladies, I've never seen you do that, like the way that you just did, from a child to a grown man. That looks absolutely painful.
You get used to it.
Did we look at this desk or the parchments?
Yes, well, he said his name was Delaney, but we can only be so sure that he was telling the truth.
Maybe, is there a light that I could look at these papers with? Maybe something is written that is unseen.
Oh, there's a candle on the desk.
Sorry, I hold the candle. All right, I hold the paper up to the candle. Is anything coming through? Is there any type of secret?
How close are you holding the parchment to the candle?
Like maybe a hand away.
Okay. As you're kind of holding this piece of parchment up over to the candle, looking for any type of writing or anything, you're flipping it, you're looking at different angles, not seeing anything.
Well, we might as well take it.
Do you want me to hold it closer just in case?
No. Is there any way, GM, that we would know more about how to read secret writing?
Give me a cunning check if you would.
Okay. Cool. Mm.
Should I roll also or no?
Yeah, you can certainly roll.
Well, I got a 16 out of 10, so RIP me.
Are there any
Nailed it. 3 out of 13.
Ooh.
So you would know that you've seen inks in the past that are activated sometimes through liquids being spilled on them, even heat. Aside from that, yeah, you really haven't heard of any type of like magical disappearing type of writing. So you'd think that, maybe if you tried spilling something on it, it might work. But aside from that, there's really not a whole lot of different types of secret writing methods that come to mind.
So I'm gonna assume I have a water flask or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look at my party. I have some knowledge of a couple of these types of things, and I'm gonna reach down. I'm gonna pour a little bit in my hand. And Nrobso, may I see the document?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm gonna hold it at an angle, and I'm gonna sprinkle it real gingerly from the top and let it run down.
You begin sprinkling these water droplets onto the piece of parchment, and you kind of hold it up at an angle to where it begins to streak down the paper itself. You now have a slightly wet piece of parchment in your hand.
Just as I suspected.
What
It's
does it
not what
say,
I know. It's still invisible.
Well, perhaps you should put it in your bag and we'll worry about it later.
So I kind of like flick it off and get as much of the water. And I'm like, maybe Aggie has more knowledge on these type of things. We'll take these back.
Is this a regular desk, or is it like a desk and a table? Like, are there drawers?
No, it's almost like a tall coffee table, if you will. No drawers on it, just a large standing wooden table.
And there's no taking a look around, because we entered through a locked cellar, which I imagine is locked on the outside.
This one was locked on the outside.
So is there any secret entrances or any other entrance, any other way to get inside? Because you can't lock it on the outside and be inside.
Correct. Give me a vigilance check, if you would.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice critical fail on my end.
Perhaps this guy was in this place another way, because we came in from the outside. Those are my 2 cents, but I don't seem to see any other entrance.
You don't see any other way out of here, Nrobso. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't, but perhaps there's someone more keen of looking around could perhaps see a different way of how this guy is in here.
Perhaps. If only I knew what sort of fate roll I would have to use to appease the dark forces that be.
Give me some kind of vigilance check here, if you would.
I believe that it is a 2 out of 7 dark forces that be.
2 out of 7. All right. Looking around, you do notice that one of the wine racks on the back appears to be attached to some kind of track. So it looks like you could almost slide it over.
Nrobso, it seems as if that area over there has a secret passage of some kind.
I'll walk over. This rack has wine on it?
It does.
I take one off, pop the cork, and I just real quick.
Maybe I'll perhaps try to push this open.
And I'm like feeling around, as if there's like a lever or something, or a certain way I need to push it or pull it.
As you're kind of looking at this, it almost looks like you just need to slide it over on this track. It doesn't look like there's any type of anything that's like holding it in place at all.
Okay, yeah. I just I push it to the left.
Okay, pushing it over to the left, and as the wine rack itself slides over, you see a ladder heading up the wall to what appears to be a small hatch on the ceiling.
I suggest that we make sure we close the door we came in. Kovaan, were you the last one in? Is that door closed?
Probably not. I'll retrace my steps and close the door.
Okay, easy enough.
Shall we go?
Door lock. Should we lock the door?
What if Aggie comes? I suppose Aggie can find her way in. Maybe we could at least barricade the door a bit. Oh, that's right. You have a key. You have a key, Nrobso.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Don't worry.
I can't lock on the outside and then get back in on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Yes, lock it up.
I can't lock on the outside and then get back in on the inside.
Well, then maybe we should leave it unlocked. I'm not sure what to tell you.
All right, just options. But I think we can proceed up the ladder.
Very well. I will go first. And GM, I'm assuming that any fake man voice that I attempt to make will just be correct, knowing that I cannot actually replicate your voice.
Fair enough. So climbing up the ladder, and the hatch easily enough pushes open. And as you open it up, you are immediately hit with sunlight. As you continue to climb up and out, you end up kind of in just another little, looks like another little courtyard area.
Do we see anything here? Any buildings? Any entrances to anything else?
As you're kind of looking about, it almost looks like you're now looking at the front of the 3-story building. And you see a couple other smaller buildings as well on the opposite side. Same thing with this little courtyard, another alleyway heading in. As you kind of pop up through, looking about, you don't see any individuals or any other activity from the other buildings currently.
So we just went back out the way we came.
It looks like you kind of went down from one courtyard and popped up in another one that's just on the opposite side of the buildings. Yeah.
Interesting. Is there any way to get into the main building that we would have come out from?
From
like
this
a different
side,
way?
From this side, it doesn't look like it.
Do the other places seem to be lived in, like they're just homes?
From what you can tell, yeah, they're not boarded up like the current 3-story building is. They actually have a couple. Each of these buildings has like a small little porch on the outside, and they look to be furnished. You can see some lights on in a couple of the homes, but you don't hear or see any voices or see any other activity.
Well, I don't think this is quite where we want to be. Don't we want to get back into the building?
So I'm assuming you're relaying all of this too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm still down there. Yeah.
Yes, I'm relaying all of it.
So now I'm gonna get more curious on why he's just in this cellar by himself that goes to just a courtyard. So can I do a more thorough investigation of the cellar that he was in?
Yeah, give me a vigilance check if you will.
Hey, 6 out of 9.
6 out of 9. Really taking your time and digging through everything that you see. Kind of inspecting the bottles of wine that are on the rack, the pieces of parchment, looking for any type of clues or hints. Do not see much down here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at Nrobso and Keen, and I didn't find anything, but this just seems odd. Why the church would have this singular building that goes to just an open courtyard.
Just give me one piece of parchment. Just one.
So I still was holding the damp one, so I'll give it to Nrobso.
I'm gonna try something.
And I go back to the desk, and now I put it maybe like 3 inches away from the flame.
Okay. You've got a damp piece of parchment near the candle.
I thought this would work. I totally thought this would work. It is a bit strange that Delani was here in a locked room from the outside, just hanging out here. And now the exit that we found, the hidden exit to go nowhere, seems even more strange.
So
You want me to
Keen
use
is
my
gonna
axe
go.
to open up a window?
One more time, Nrobso.
You want me to use my axe to perhaps open up this window?
And I'm
Windows on
aiming
the
at
building?
the boarded windows.
Okay. Are you going to try to open up one of the ones from the front or the back of the building?
Oh no, I'm asking the party.
Oh, gotcha.
Nrobso, I think
Yeah.
if you were to do something like that, it would be important to stand behind me and allow my silhouette to block whatever you're doing, and make sure you're only cutting out a chunk big enough so that it won't be too noticeable. We might be being watched.
Here's
If
all.
I could guess, likely there's more to this courtyard than meets the eye.
I put my axe away, and I pull out the dagger, and I go to the while Kin is blocking, I'm in the front with her now. I want to try to like jam the dagger in the corner, and try to like pry it open so that a piece of it is, so I can push and look in.
Okay. Give me a strength check here when you get a second.
5 for 16.
5 for 16. Okay. Taking your dagger and you kind of position it down into the area, and you begin prying this board up just enough to where you can try to peek in. You kind of begin peeling the board back, and you can see that as you're trying to peer into this window, you're just met with darkness as it appears the curtains are closed on this window.
Agithe, the curtain's closed, so if I need to get in more, I'd have to take a bigger risk.
I see. Nrobso, I think perhaps I will stand here, give you as much cover as possible. Do it as quickly as you can, and if anyone seems alerted to it, I'm going to try to create a distraction immediately.
I'm moving a curtain.
Okay, so you're going to break the glass to access the curtain?
Oh, there's glass too? I thought it was wood.
No, it's basically a curtain glass window, and it's boarded up from the outside.
Leggies, I have to break this glass as well. I was under the impression it was just wood. Now it's wood glass curtain.
Do you mind just reiterating what I see in the courtyard really quick before I answer him?
Yeah, so where you're at in the courtyard is you've got two buildings on the opposite side of you that look like living residences. And then immediately next to where you popped up out of the ground is a 3-story building. You're basically looking at what you would assume is the front side of it. And then aside from that, you've just got the one alleyway heading back out to the main street.
And is there like a side to the building that's not immediately like facing one of these residences? Because there has to be like some kind of side. Are we able to access it?
Yeah, you could easily try to walk around the front of the building to try to check out the other side of it.
Oh, I mean like the side, like there's the front and the back, but the actual sides of the building.
Oh, the actual sides of the building? Yeah, you can. One side of the building is pressed up against another one, but it looks like there is an open side from the main street that you could see.
Nrobso, try to get in on the side of the building. I will start walking, just stay as my silhouette. And I kind of like billow out my cloak for Nrobso to dash under really fast.
Jim, are all the windows boarded up? All 3 floors?
Seems we come into another 3-floor building dilemma. Oh, how I hate the 3-floor building dilemma.
And I'm gonna like take my. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. Sorry.
No. Go ahead. Oh, I'm going for the side of the building.
Yeah, I take the big billowing cloak and like Nrobso is under it, and we walk to the side of the building. Are there windows?
The side of the building, it's just one. It just looks like just slats of wood all the way up. No windows on this side. As you're kind of on the main street looking at it, you kind of see the one courtyard that you had just come from, and then you see a long fence on the opposite side leading to the other courtyard that you were in. And then looking up and down the street, you see just other various shops and restaurants and living residences, but this building has no real defining features on this side.
You say it's just wood now, as
Wood
in
all
like
the
a
way up.
door, or
No door, nothing, just wood all the way up.
Are there any weak spots in the wood?
Thank you. Yeah, is there any weak spots?
Be a vigilance check here if you would.
Both of us, or just one of us?
You can both if you're both looking.
8 for 12 for me.
I got a nat 20.
Okay. Even with your 8 for 12 Nrobso, as you're kind of looking at this building, you're not really seeing any like loose nails or anything sticking out. Nothing that looks like you could probably try to pry open, as these are just very long slats of wood.
I'm no longer going to take shit about my fire issues, all right? I'm no longer going to take shit about that.
Totally fair.
We're discussing literally carving into the side of a building right now to get in.
And a seemingly abandoned building that no one is supposed to live in. For the record, let the record state.
And how did that turn out last time? I love this. This is great.
I'm gonna break the window. I have to break this window.
I agree, but walk with me. Stay under the cloak.
All right. Tell me when. And I got my axes like underneath and ready. And the moment we're doing this, the first window that I see is a big ass like chop right in the center.
I don't even think Keen would know that there's no strategy to that. I think Keen thinks it's going to be the window we looked at before.
Give me a strength check, Nrobso. Kovaan, anything from you all going down?
I was looking to see if I could do anything with one of the upper floors, so I'm just kind of watching out to make sure that nobody else is coming about while they're up to their B&E.
Yeah.
11 for 16.
All right. Easy enough. You take your axe and go into the window. Taking it, you shatter through the glass and the boards. Kovaan, give me a vigilance check as you hear this loud clattering and smashing going on.
Oh, vigilance is my jam today. 5 out of 9.
Nice. So you kind of give it a moment as everything kind of begins to settle down, the noise and everything. You look towards the residences, don't see any activity. You kind of gaze out towards the main street to look. There's people passing by, but oddly enough, nobody seems to be paying attention to what's going on here.
So I look over at them and
they just kind of give you like an awkward nod and continue walking. Nrobso, you have this open window in front of you.
I'm gonna peek in, and I'm moving the curtain, and I'm peeking in,
Pulling the curtain
very
back.
cautiously and carefully.
Okay. Give me a discreet check when you have a moment.
And I'll be using Shadow Spawn to
Okay.
add a +1 to my sneaking. And I got meets it 6 for 6.
6 for 6. Okay. Quietly enough, as you're kind of skirting around the broken glass bits and you begin pulling this curtain back, peering in, we're going to jump over to Aggie. Aggie, so back in this small little storeroom, you've got a plethora of herbs and powders in front of you. You recognize, again, some of them as acidic, explosive powders, poisonous herbs and powders. What are you after in here?
Oh, so did y'all know that there's a lot of really cool alchemical stuff in this game? Yeah, so Aggie's gonna be looking at candles. If there's any candles about.
Looking about, you do see what you recognize as poison candles.
Great. I am going to I am looking more for a ghost candle as well. Oh, well, would that have been in the main shop?
A ghost candle, you're not seeing any in here, and you wouldn't have seen those outside either.
Okay. Poison can't. You know what? That's actually a really good idea. If we're trying to assassinate someone, yeah. I'll go ahead and pick up a weak poison candle.
Okay.
As well as 2 weak poisons.
2 weak poisons, okay.
So that's 12.
Cool.
Then also looking to get an elixir of life if they have one. But I understand if that's a little extra.
You do see one elixir catches your eye that does look like an elixir of life.
Stunning. So friends, I am spending all of my money here. That's up to 24. I've got $9 left. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get some war paint if they've got it.
Oh yeah, they got war paint.
Nice. That's 7. I'm gonna get a concentrated magic. What's it called? Yeah, concentrated magic if they got it.
They do.
That is, now we're down to 6. And then then we're gonna do the rest in healing herbal cures. We'll do 5 herbal cures, and then just that $1 left. We're just gonna get load up on supplies for me to make my own shit later.
Perfect, easy enough. You cleaned out his store closet pretty damn good with all your purchases there. But he is quite happy as seems like it's been a minute since he's looking out in his shop. You can see it was fairly dusty and fairly well stocked, almost like it doesn't get a lot of foot traffic. So you definitely just made this guy's day.
Nice.
He begins kind of boxing everything up for you in just this tiny little wooden crate. He kind of slides it over to you. Just be careful with all that, and do come back if you need anything else.
Oh, absolutely. There's do you have some form of a rewards program?
Oh, I suppose that's something I can think about.
Well, we can discuss it when we come back, or when you see me next time.
I look forward to it.
I'm just gonna, hobble on out. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to ask for him to help me carry this big ass box out to the cart that's waiting.
Easy enough. He'll happily aid you with carrying this box of goodies out to your taxi.
Sweet. And and then my cart is currently at the stables, right?
Your cart is back at the guard camp. The town guard camp is where that cart is currently at.
Okay. Then we're actually gonna go there. Y'all don't know where the fuck I am, so it doesn't matter where I go. It just matters where the fox finds me. So yeah, I'm gonna be like, all right, we're gonna go stop over there first.
Okay. Making your way back over to the town watch camp, where Captain Marvello has allowed you to store your cart and all your supplies there.
Y'all are getting into trouble. Aggie's having a shopping episode.
And it's easy enough. You arrive at the gates. You see your cart still parked there. And the taxi driver kind of helps you down and kind of grabs your crate and places it on the ground.
Oh, well, it isn't Laerke hanging out here?
As you approach the cart, you don't see Laerke.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I thought she was going to be here. And yeah, I just go ahead and give him a nod, and I sure as hell hope that they paid him up front. But I'm gonna go ahead and give him a few. Not Thaler, not Orteg, but the middle one.
Villain.
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and give him 2 shillings.
Okay.
Which that's reasonable, right?
Maybe.
For a taxi. I mean, it's a couple Ortegs for a beer, right?
It's up to you. Whatever you want to tip.
I want to make people love me. How much do I tip to make people love me?
He seems very happy with the tip that you've given him.
Great, wonderful, awesome, beautiful, stunning, and yeah, I'm just going to say I appreciate you for changing direction so often. Have a wonderful day. I can take it from here.
All right. And you take your crate and you begin kind of organizing it into your cart. And as you're kind of organizing, you do notice a piece of parchment rolled up, sitting in the cart.
Not another one. The last time I got one of these, it wasn't good news. Well, it actually ended up being good news. Okay, she reads it.
Okay. And you unfurl it, and it says, "Friends, I'm sorry to leave you in such a rush, but please understand I'm only doing this as I have no choice. My position has required me to return home to Karvasti for a time. Please do not follow. Stay safe. I'll see you all again. Laerke.
Aggie immediately checks the secret cupboard for Laerke's stash.
Gone.
She does breathe. She breathes a sigh of relief, but she also shakes her head because she wishes she had had more time to re-up it before Laerke had to leave. And she goes ahead and just sets the parchment down, and continues with her work.
And to reorganize. As you're kind of on one side of the card working around, you feel the cart kind of shake ever so slightly. And you look towards the back of it, and you see two little fox ears kind of pop up over the edge. And you see this little ethereal fox kind of poke its head up towards you. Aggie is just staring at you.
Oh! There we are. I was wondering when I'd see you. How are you doing? And she just, puts her hand out like she's going to go pet the fox.
And it kind of just stares at you for a moment and kind of looks back down towards the ground. Then back to you, back to the ground.
Aggie takes a sigh and she's just going to be like, great, more walking for the day. And she goes ahead, she puts a finger up. She's almost done organizing. She's just like, all right, let me finish. She finishes putting away all of her stuff, sticks a few of the items that she got on her person, and closes everything up, locks it all up, makes sure it's good, gives a nice little nod to the guards who've been watching over her shit, and brings the parchment with her.
Okay.
And she tells the fox, like, all right, now you can't be impatient with me, especially today of all days. We're going at my pace. Then she follows.
Muffin just kind of stares at you for a moment before just slowly walking next to you.
Good Foxy.
All right. Back over here, Nrobso peering into this area as you sneakily pulled this curtain back, looking into this first room. Empty. Entirely empty. But as you kind of look over to the left-hand side, situated on the other corner, you see a staircase.
It's empty. It's entirely empty. But on the left-hand side, I see a staircase.
I'm thinking that we go in.
All right. Very covertly. Make sure Kovaan is aware.
Kovaan. I'm going to rustle out the cloak so that you can get behind me. Follow Nrobso into this window entrance.
I'm going to make my way from the hatch towards where they are.
Easy enough. Making your way over, you see Keen standing there in front of this window. You see this little bit of slight movement in her cloak, as you assume that's probably Nrobso doing what he's doing in there.
So then I'm going to duck behind her and follow her instructions and just kind of follow Nrobso in.
Okay.
It'll probably take me a bit to get into the window.
No worries. It definitely takes a little bit of time, but luckily Nrobso has cleared off most of the broken glass and has pried the board far enough away to where you could. It's a little tight, but you're able to make your way and squeeze into this building.
And there's only stairs going up. There's no other room door latch on the floor or anything.
Correct.
Our only option's up. If it's okay with you guys. Oh, ladies, are you taking point because you're the Lani character?
Yes, I will follow. I will lead, and you may follow.
Then here, take this with you to complete your outfit.
And I hand the keys. I give the keys back.
Wonderful. And I tie them around my waist.
Okay, perfect. Heading up the stairs?
Yes.
Okay. Making your way up the stairs into the second floor. And you enter into another large room, but this time what you see is this wooden table almost taking up the entire length of this room. Situated around the table, you see 5 different chairs, 2 on the right side, 2 on the left side, and 1 at the head of the table. Situated towards the back of the room, you see what appears to be a very large, old, worn wooden dresser. It's got various drawers. The dresser itself, probably about as tall as Kovaan is, just situated towards the back corner of this room. And you also see another staircase heading up.
Nrobso, would you like to check the dresser?
Yes. But I'll be sure not to touch anything this time.
So I go ahead, opening dressers, looking for secret, little latches and things.
Okay, as you're kind of walking past the table and chairs, you notice easy enough as you're kind of getting closer to them, each of the chairs has letters embroidered into them. And on the table itself, as you're kind of passing by, you notice this giant picture of a salmon jumping through waves. And it's painted in this beautiful blue and red and silver paint color. And it's been very carefully lacquered over. And as you're walking by the chairs, you see, as you're passing by the ones on the right-hand side, you see the initials IB and RG embroidered into these chairs on this side. And you make your way over to the dresser.
There are letters IB and RG, but I don't think I remember exactly who these may or may not belong to.
May I ask a clarifying question, GM? Was Balmelo's first name Iag something or Ignatus? No, I wasn't sure.
Nrobso, you've seen the embroidery on the first 2 chairs and on the table. You still have the chair at the head of the table and the chairs on the left-hand side as you're heading towards the dresser. Keen and Kovaan, any actions from the 2 of you?
I would like to check the room for any arcane energy.
Okay, give me a resolute check.
18 out of 15.
Okay, you kind of walk in the room with your pendulum, not picking up any type of arcane presence.
And then both floors, again, it's just a square, basically, with no closets, no other distinguishing features, other than the second floor has a table with 5 chairs. So I'm going to make note of the different initials and the placement of the chairs, and I'm going to make note of that in my journal.
So you're walking around. Are you expecting the other chairs as well?
Yeah, just so I get them all correctly identified.
Perfect. So
especially the one at the head.
Perfect. So the one at the head of the table has the initials KS embroidered into it. And then over on the opposite side, you see chairs with the initials SA and ED.
Okay.
Nrobso, would you be digging through the dresser?
Is this a dresser with doors or a dresser with drawers?
Both. It's got doors on the top and drawers on the bottom, as this dresser is about the size of Kovaan, as tall as he is.
Then I have my hand on my dagger, and I'm opening the door first, and then working the way down. So drawer, dresser, as I try to see what's in this thing.
Okay. You open up the doors on this dresser, and you see 5 coats hanging there. These coats are very faded. It's the white fabric is almost turned to like more of a yellow fabric. They're definitely torn. They've seen better days. As you're kind of looking at them, you see a couple different embroideries into them. One embroidery showing the sinking sun, the sign of the Church of Prios. And you see another embroidery of a flaming pine tree.
I relay that.
Leggies, Kovaan. There seems to be familiar insignias we've seen before. And I do a pat down of the coats first to see if there's anything in like the pockets or inside pockets, just to see if there's like anything at all.
Yeah, easy enough. Taking a moment to kind of pat down everything and taking your time, really inspecting the innards of the jackets as well. Not feeling anything in them.
I just take them off the rack and I hold them up and I show the different insignias.
And as you kind of hold them up, Kovaan and Keen looking at them, they look like older army jackets.
It seems this is more older than what we have normally seen, as if with this abandoned building, these are also abandoned jackets.
And you said there were 5, yeah?
Oh yeah, big time.
Is there like a split in the symbols? 2, 3, or something like that?
From the embroidered.
Yeah.
No, it's basically each of them just has an embroider on like either breast on these.
Oh. Okay, I got you. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
No worries. And I'm sorry, go ahead and give me a vigilance check too, Kovaan, as you were the one kind of really searching the room here as well.
Hey, 9 out of 9.
9 out of 9, okay. As you kind of walk and inspecting the chairs and looking at the table, as you're kind of heading towards the back of the room, out of the corner of your eye, you notice in the back left-hand corner of this room, it looks like one of the boards is slightly pulled upward.
All right, so if that's catching my eye, then I'm gonna move that way. But I'm gonna make sure I don't step on that board. I'm gonna be on the side of it.
Okay, easy enough.
And does it look like it's fully loose, or it's been pried?
It looks like it almost looks like it's been pried up and then pushed back down. But it looks like it didn't quite get pushed all the way back down.
Okay, so I'm gonna let Keen and Nrobso know.
Okay.
It seems someone is trying to hide something in this corner. This board looks like it's been adjusted.
Is there anything in the drawers too?
Yes, digging through the drawers as well. You find a few different books. These books, each of them have like just this crumbling green fabric cover to them. and as you kind of look at them, the covers have scrawlings of what appears to be stories of the Alberator.
In Kovaan, I found stories in these books. I don't fully recognize them, but this is definitely becoming more and more intricate of a plot. One with what Kovaan seen of the floorboards, and two of these books and jackets seemingly of a hidden society.
I agree.
I'm not in agreement.
Do you mind if I store the books for now?
Oh yeah, here you go.
And I'm gonna tuck the books away. We'll have to get more information about this later. Should we check the floorboards?
I think so.
And I go over and I peel the floorboard up.
What is it?
So you begin peeling the floorboard up. Aggie, you are currently making your way through the streets, following Muffin, as Muffin's kind of dipping and dodging through various alleyways. You're doing your best to keep up before eventually you do come to an open courtyard.
And the whole way, I just want you to know I'm making conversation with Muffin. Like, so what have you been up to? Have you been having fun? Staying out of trouble, I hope.
Would Muffin respond, Keen?
Muffin lets out a little yip yip noise, yip yip. And Muffin tries to do almost a little charades thing to suggest to Aggie, though I don't think Aggie is going to get this information, that it would be good if Aggie pretended she lost her daughter. She's there just trying to make herself real small. And then she's patting Aggie on the leg really aggressively, gets big, and then goes back to being small, trying her little fox best, but it's really hard and there are no baby foxes around.
You're small. You're big. Did our friends drink a potion and become enlarged?
Can Muffin attempt to scratch some stuff in the dirt? Little crude pictures?
4 words.
I don't think Muffin would have that ability, unfortunately.
That is okay. I understand and respect that.
Muffin's not that well trained yet. I mean, it could be something you work on with Muffin, but as of right now, probably out of the ballpark currently. So, Aggie trying to decipher this little dance as Muffin's charading around. You're eventually led to this large courtyard where you see a staircase heading down to a cellar. You see a large 3-story building that's completely boarded up. You're essentially in the first courtyard where they had begun.
And in relation to the rest of the city, whereabouts is this courtyard? How far from the other landmarks that we're familiar with?
This part is situated kind of more towards the... it's probably about 10 or so blocks away from the town watch area, the town watch encampment.
Okay, so cool.
It's more heading towards the center of town.
All right, gotcha. And the center of town is where the sinkhole appeared, right?
No, the sinkhole appeared towards the northern edge of town, kind of the northeast.
Okay, cool.
Of town.
Cool. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna look at Muffin and be like, they went down there.
Can Muffin attempt to smell to see if their scent has traveled?
Yeah, have Muffin give me a vigilance check.
Okay.
Do y'all have like telepathy? Like I know in D&D,
I don't
But-
believe so.
it's not D&D.
I don't believe we do.
I don't think that would be as familiar.
Yeah. And my familiar got a nat 20.
Okay. So you
Again.
see Muffin kind of sniff the air and kind of like start doing, almost walking in a couple circles. Aggies, you're standing out here. You also catch the whiff of something kind of sweet, almost like somebody just freshly baked some goods. And as you kind of turn around, you see in the residential building, the older Ambria man setting like a pie up in his window. And you see Muffin just kind of nose in the air and is just kind of staring towards that pie currently.
I'm just gonna give Muffin a nice little pat on the head and be like, you did good. Don't you worry. We'll figure it out from here. And I am gonna kneel down and just be like, don't eat the pie though. It's not ours and we can't get into any trouble. And then can I make some form of like preferably cunning check to see if I don't know, see if I have, see the broken window shit or the whatever. I mean,
If you're looking for signs, it's going to be a vigilance check, unfortunately for you.
Damn it. I thought it's looking for clues, as though you would look for clues in a book.
Vigilance type way.
It's okay, great. That's still a 4, so it works.
Okay. Looking out from this area, you don't see any broken windows on this side of the building. But looking down the stairs, you do see that the cellar door is slightly propped open.
All right, well, I guess this is as good a place to start as any. And
Right.
I just start hobbling down the stairs.
Aggie moving down to the cellar, back inside. You've got the floorboard lifted up. Nrobso looking down. And what you see is what I'll tell you next time on Symbaroum. So thank you all so much for joining us today for this episode. Greatly appreciate you. We're so happy to be back. Again, thank you to those of you who have been able to donate so far to Roll versus Evil. Incredibly important cause. Again, down in the chat, there's a link and some more information supporting the people of Ukraine. So please continue to donate what you can, if you can, and please spread the word there, as it's such an amazing cause. With that, let's go ahead and introduce everybody one more time. Let's go and start off with Coral, please.
Hello, my name is Coral Reefer. You can find me on twitch.tv/queerventuretime and on Twitter @QVenturetime, because Queer Venture Time is too many characters. Thank you to our wonderful GM for this wonderful party reunification. Lots of chaos. Stupid shit. I'm gonna be on there putting on makeup tonight for the first time going out to the club since the panini started. So very exciting. And I'll be drinking, so it'll be entertaining.
Let's throw over to our man over in Ireland. How we doing, Leroy?
Hey yo, it's Lee Royal on all social media at RoyaltyNoY. And as Nate had just mentioned, yes, I am in Ireland for the next month or so. So hopefully they come and fix the Wi-Fi tomorrow. And if you're interested, I'll be going back to streaming, perhaps playing some Minecraft and or some other games that I can just do right here on my laptop. So yeah, check me out on Instagram and Twitter, where I continue to be hilarious and entertaining.
True. All right, let's go over to Kelsey, please.
Hi, everyone. It's Kelsey. Again, I'm Tombs and Tomes on social media. I love playing Kinlegelana, so thank you so much for tuning in and watching.
Perfect. Let's go over to Keith, please.
Thanks for coming by, everybody. Find me on IG again. I'm not Kim Bacon. On Twitter, all that D&D, and Twitch, Aloy808. Trying to get a regular schedule on there. I play whatever. It's kind of varied right now. Leroy, maybe one day we can figure out a co-stream or something.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be now, but maybe when you get back or whatever. But yeah, I play kind of whatever. It's mostly just to hang out with friends. So.
And real quick, I'm gonna count this as my birthday stream because my birthday's on Tuesday.
Woo! Happy birthday, almost. That's fantastic.
Happy
almost
birthday to you.
Wonderful. And of course, I'm Nate, your semi-friendly internet DM, GM, whatever you want to call me. You can catch me on Instagram, DungeonMaster_discussions, as well as streaming here at the Initiative Order. You can also catch me tomorrow over on the Rizzo GP's Twitch channel. We're going to be playing some Phasmophobia as he kicks off his third year with Extra Life. Extra Life, super cool foundation. We're raising funds for one of the local children's hospitals here in Southern Oregon, so really close to home. Stop by, say hi, donate if you can. Watch us get murdered by ghosts left and right because I suck at that game. And you can also catch me this coming Saturday over at the Red Hair Inn, where I am a guest DM for a homebrew story, homebrew world, homebrew subclasses, homebrew everything over there with episode 4. Right? 4 of a little mini-series that we're doing over there. So check that out if you're interested. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you all in the next adventure. See ya.